Welcome back to Let's Sum It Up, the podcast where we get real about health, cut the noise, and talk about what actually works. Today's episode is going to ruffle some feathers, but it's a conversation that needs to be heard. We're going to be talking about supplements, the good, the bad, the ugly. You see, this is a massive industry and most people don't realize just how big it is. And the scary part is most of us don't even know what we're taking on a daily basis. So let's dive into it. Here's the truth that shocks most people. Your supplements do not have to be proven to be safe, and they do not have to be proven to be effective. And the crazy part is most companies can put anything they want in those capsules and sell it as if it's the miracle pill. And yes, that includes the biggest brands. And a lot of them are spending pennies to make the product and selling it at a ridiculous price. If that doesn't cause you to stop and really pay attention, it should. So let's talk about just how big of an industry the supplement world is. In America, it is a $50 billion plus industry. Worldwide, $300 billion. That is bigger than all the organic produce there is. That's bigger than all the gyms in America. That's even bigger than some of the medical field. And the sad part is everybody's selling stuff. You have gummies, you have powders, you have teas, you have supplements, pills, capsules, and because supplements feel natural, we automatically trust them. But trust does not equal truth. Most people assume that supplements go through a really strict testing, but they don't. Thanks to the DSHEA, a law passed in 1994, companies no longer have to prove anything about their supplements. In fact, they don't have to prove that the product works. They don't have to prove that their product is safe. They don't have to prove that the label is accurate. They don't have to prove that the diagnoses are correct. They don't have to prove that the ingredients are pure. They don't even have to prove or show that the ingredients exist in the bottle. In fact, it's the opposite. Let me repeat that again. Supplements do not have to be proven safe or effective. They only get pulled off the market if there's enough complaining about the product or if someone gets hurt. And by then, it's too late. Now let's talk about those big brands because everybody sees them and they do a heck of a job at marketing. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones with the polished labels, the ones with the influencers or the celebrities that are pushing these products. People automatically assume that because it's a big brand that looks nice and flashy and it's popular, it must work. Or because it's so ridiculously high priced, the quality's got to be better than anything else out there. Or the fact that everybody's taking it, it has to be the perfect supplement. But many of these high-priced supplements cost pennies to make. And I'm being serious, 30, 40, 50 cents, maybe $1, but yet they're going to sell it for 40, 60, 80, maybe over $100 for the supplement. Not because of quality, because of good branding. Price does not equal purity, and popularity does not equal potency. And then there's the claims. Holy cannoli. There's nothing that anybody can do about the claims that are made because I don't have to prove what I'm claiming. You have to disprove what I'm claiming. And so you get some outrageous claims. And you probably already are thinking of some that you've seen. Some of the ones that I've seen recently are we can detox all the organs in your body in 48 hours. Holy cannoli, Batman. That's incredible. That really is. Or we can balance all of your hormones with just one pill a day. That's incredible. I mean, seriously. Or how about lose 20 pounds without having to change the way you eat or even having to exercise? Sometimes these claims drive me crazy. Sometimes they're a little entertaining just because they're so outrageous. And I often think there's no way people actually believe this. But hey, they do a heck of a good job at marketing. And the truth is, if something sounds too good to be true, it's because it is. In the last decade, there has been independent labs researching many of the supplements out there. And some of the truth that came out is pretty scary. Like the fact that up to 79% of herbal supplements didn't even contain the herbs that they said were in there. In fact, what they found is most of supplements had 0 active ingredients in them. They found that some of the supplements were filled with rice powder or sawdust or wheat. Even the gluten-free ones, they were chock full of fillers. Some of the powders that they found had heavy metals in them, like lead and arsenic. Most probiotics didn't have the correct strands that were labeled, and most of them were dead. They weren't even alive. Many of the fish oils were already oxidized, meaning they were rancid before you even bought them. So people are taking all these supplements thinking they're healthy, but really what they're putting into their bodies, their body now has to detox out because it's poison. Kind of a backwards thing, isn't it? And therein lies another problem. I see patients all the time taking 10, 15, even 30 supplements a day. That is no better than going to your medical doctor and getting put on 10 medications. This overwhelms the liver. It stresses the digestive system. It throws off nutrient balances. It confuses the body. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying supplements are the villain. There are excellent supplements out there that can be very beneficial and very helpful. They can support healing. They can restore balance. I believe in that, but they're often overused. Now, I've been in different practices or businesses where supplements are sold. One of the most frustrating conversations I ever had was when the owner told me I needed to push more supplements on patients. They wanted me to have a minimum of 8 to 12 supplements per patient who walked in the door. And when I said that wasn't needed, the patient didn't need that, their comment was, yeah, but it's not going to hurt them. That's not totally true. Too much selenium can cause a massive problem in the body. Just because it's natural, we can't just say it won't hurt us. It absolutely can. Now, supplements work best when we know what the body actually needs, when we know the quality has been verified, when we know the dosing is correct, we know that the nutrition of the person taking the supplements is actually solid. Because the truth is, supplements aren't a shortcut. Supplements are a tool. So let's sum it up of what we've talked about today. First, the supplement industry is massive. $50 billion industry in America. Supplements don't have to be proven safe or effective. The labels don't always have to match of what's actually inside the bottle. Some of the supplements that cost pennies to make are sold at an outrageous price. If claims sound too good to be true, they probably are. Taking 10, 20, 30 supplements a day is actually more harmful to you than helpful. Quality matters way more than quantity. And the truth, your body heals better with simplicity, clarity, and with honest information. Thanks for listening to Let's Sum It Up. We'll be back next time with a topic that I'm sure will ruffle more feathers as we dive into the truth of health. But we'll break it down in a way that actually makes sense. Until then, have a good one.